Hey, my name's Matt Campbell. My brother Jeff was murdered on September 11th, 2001. He was 31. He worked for Reuters and was due to attend the Risk Waters conference on the 106th floor of the North Tower of the World Trade Center. I still have a copy of the last email he sent that morning at 8:02 a.m. saying that he was running late for the Waters conference. Although the events of 9/11 were 12 years ago, as a family we still obviously grieve for him, and 9/11 will always be relevant to us. In addition to the constant references in the media, we also get formal reminders. As recent as June 5th this year, we were informed by our police liaison officer yet another body part had been identified, and it had actually been recovered in December 2001, along with other body parts of him. And in January this year, the adjourned from July 2004 coroner's inquest was finally held into my brother's death. No one from my family actually attended, although my mum did receive notification on the phone of the key findings. But we did eventually receive the formal inquisition form, which cites the time, place and circumstance at or in which injury was sustained, and I'll quote from it. At 8:46 on 11th of September 2001, the deceased was on the 106th floor of North Tower of World Trade Center when an aircraft, AA-11, was deliberately flown into the building, causing its collapse at 10:28. This event was part of a coordinated attack by the Islamist militant group Al-Qaeda. As I reread that statement now, the memories have come flooding back of me spending the best part of the last decade going down the rabbit hole into the myriad of 9/11 conspiracy theories, starting of course with the official one. And like many, I spent far too much time on the internet searching for the truth, safely at my keyboard and screen. My wife would often say, "What's the point of knowing all this stuff? What are you going to do about it?" Fair comment. As fate would have it, I stumbled across an article. It was either on the TAP blogspot, if you're familiar with that, or a global research email, I can't remember, about a forthcoming historical court case in Horsham, in Sussex, where I live, in Sussex. And the title was "Historic Court Hearings, the BBC in the dock for manipulating evidence and providing biased coverage of the September 11, 2001 attacks." It obviously piqued my interest, so I thought to myself, enough is enough, time to take some action. And so on the 25th of February this year, I found myself actually inside the courtroom watching Tony Rourke argue his case against the BBC, citing Section 15, Article 3 of the Terrorism Act 2000 for not paying his TV licence. Or should I say, he was trying to argue his case. The judge wouldn't or couldn't let him actually show the evidence, as it was a strict liability trial. However, the fact that the district judge had actually allocated some 2 or 3 hours for a strict liability case, because he'd actually seen and looked at the quality and quantity of evidence pre-trial, speaks volumes. I had a brief chat with Tony in the pub afterwards, after his moral victory. He got a conditional discharge and no fine. And a couple of months later, I attended my first Reinvestigate 9/11 meeting at Conway Hall. I met a few of you there. One of the problems I see at getting the 9/11 reinvestigated and obtaining the necessary support from the public is there are so many conspiracy theories out there. And of course, the mainstream media, like the BBC, have helped brand many truthers as crazy people. And to be fair, some theories are crazy. My favourite one is that my brother and his photo and images of him was a software construct. Not true. Some seem more based on tenuous speculation rather than hard facts, which, even if they are true, is extremely hard to prove in a court of law. So you end up going round and round in circles, which was pretty much what I did for 10 years. There are so many reasons why I want 9/11 reinvestigated. And the main reason that I've decided to go public with my support is because of Building 7 and the support of physics. The symmetrical freefall evidence is incontrovertible. Building 7 was not brought down by office fires. It had to be done by some sort of a controlled demolition, which must cast, to use a Rethink 9/11 phrase, serious doubt on the official account of 9/11, obviously then some. So on the 3rd of June this year, I found myself in an hour's meeting at Chichester Police Station with District Commander Tanya Jones, along with Tony Rook, Adrian Mallett, Ian Henschel, showing a video of Building 7 collapsing, along with evidence of previous false flag precedents, such as Project Northwoods in Gladio. At one point, Tanya asked, almost rhetorically, "What do you expect me to do about this?" "Your job," Mr. Rook replied. At a minimum, the BBC and Reuters should be investigated under Section 38B of the Terrorism Act for its prescient report by some 23 minutes of Building 7's collapse. Anyway, that meeting was over 3 months ago, and bar a shameful letter on the 10th of July saying Miss Jones was away on annual leave, I've heard nothing from her, despite several letters to both Chichester Police Station and the Sussex Police Commissioner, who washed their hands of it, saying that it's an operational matter. There were 67 British victims murdered on 9/11. Our police force is guilty of not investigating a pretty big crime. What the hell do we pay them for? All of us should go down to our local police station, if not today, tomorrow, and report a crime. And then there's the BBC and their shameful failure to inform the British public of the monumental scientific significance of Building 7 and its symmetrical freefall collapse. What the hell do we pay them for? Accurate and impartial news? I don't think so. The implications of Building 7's collapse are huge. Yesterday I attended the September 11th memorial service in attended the memorial service in Grosvenor Square Gardens near the US Embassy. The number of family members is still as strong as it was when the garden was first opened on September 11th, 2003. For many, the grief is very strong, very evident. I mean, children who lost their parents when they were young are now, as you know, becoming young adults, are now reading out their father or mother's name and trying to hold it together, as I am, and failing to do so. I haven't spoken to anyone in the September 11 UK support group about rethinking or reinvestigating 9/11 yet. It's hard enough trying to do that with your members of your own extended family. However, Building 7 is making that easier. My mother wants 9/11 reinvestigated and wants the truth to come out. She reads out Jeff's name every year at the memorial service. She's unbelievably strong. I vividly remember the day we received some more of Jeff's remains. This was back in 2008. It was his scalp with hair attached to his skin, the soft tissue of his left ear, his eye socket and his eyebrow, along with some of his right jaw and 3 teeth. No one, let alone a mother, should have to witness and experience that. And yet it continues, the false flags, the illegal wars. My heart goes out to Bob McIlvaine, whose son Bobby was murdered on 9/11. I know he's been very active in 9/11 Truth. And personally, as one family member of a 9/11 victim to another, I want to thank him for his relentless efforts. I know Fran has a recorded interview with him that's going to be shown later on today. My mother and I want 9/11 reinvestigated. Building 7 was not brought down by office fires, and 9/11 has been used for the basis of the war on terrorism, the continuing deaths of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of innocent people, and the continuing erosion of our civil liberties. How far down the road do you and your family want to go? Enough is enough. We need to know the whole truth. Thanks.